There's a new gorgeous guy at my grocery store. So now I've been going there a whole lot more, even just to get one item. It's worth the risk to have a gorgeous guy sighting. I'll tell you, he really seems to be a pro. Mask and gloves everywhere he goes. It could happen any day. I could get 6 feet from him and say just the right thing in just the right tone, such as are those tomatoes organically grown. Until then, a bottled water display is the spot from behind which I survey the new gorgeous guy arranging fruit. I particularly like when he rolls at the cucumbers. Do you think that I'm obsessing? This guy and I are about to progress, and though I meet men and often I'll kiss one, there's something especially special about this one. I made those lyrics up back last May, but something happened just today. Here's the update, can't say without a doubt, but I'm pretty sure he was checking me out. Oh, could it be I've misconstrued? This story is to be continued. There's a new gorgeous guy at my grocery store. Against all recommendations, I've been going there a whole lot more. In a disillusioned state, I was walking home one day. My dead-end life was all work and no play. At the corner of my eye, someone beckoned to me. He said, play the ukulele and you'll see the new way, and you'll be filled with love from the skies above. Ukuleles of love raining from the skies above.
In my head, I was happy, I was glad that I got out of bed. The music took control of me, I threw away my friends. If you want to join the party, just say yes, yes.
You'll be filled with love from the skies above. Ukuleles of love raining from the skies above.
You're here with Midnight Ukulele Disco, and we're here in Prospect Park with Pete Sturman.
Hi Jason, great to be here.
What a beautiful spot to spend some time with the ukulele.
Yes, indeed.
So Pete, how did you first come to play the ukulele?
I was at a fairy gathering in Tennessee in the fall of 2010, and you were at the same gathering, and you must have seen some untapped potential in me. And I walked by you one day, and you said, come over here. And I did. I'm pretty open to suggestion. And you extended your ukulele, and you said, play this. I said, I don't know the fingerings. I can't play that. You said, here's C, here's F, and here's G. And I immediately played a song, and it was one of my songs. It was Fine Red Wine. And I was immediately struck by how different a feel it had, and that here was a possibility to sort of like play a different style than I was used to without a lot of extra effort, really. Just to immediately sort of slide into like new stylistic possibilities.
Now, before you played ukulele, you were already a songwriter, right? So how did that feel like as being a songwriter and then taking songs that you'd written for guitar and moving them to ukulele?
Well, two parts. First of all, writing new songs on the uke, I felt like it gave me the opportunity to just write different kinds of songs. And as a writer, you're always looking for different sounds. Like, you always want things that sound different. You don't want someone to say, oh, all of his songs sound exactly the same. You don't want that. That's not entertaining. So that's important. And then the second part is, some songs I have translated better for me than others, but sometimes they've given me a chance to like change the tempo or change whatever, whether it's a picked or a strummed song, or change something about it, or sing a harmony instead of the melody sometimes or something, and then make that the melody. And there's all kinds of different things, and just kind of taking a song that I wrote on guitar and then moving it to ukulele just kind of takes it out of its comfort zone in a way, and then you have a chance to try something different with it. You don't even know what it might end up being like. So,
what sort of response have you had to your fans and your people who knew you from guitar days?
I don't think there's been much of a stir, really. I think it seemed like a natural progression to people. There was one time, I have one friend who says that he just thinks that the ukulele is not suitable for maybe every mood. Like, he didn't think we should have used it to play Space Oddity by David Bowie, which we did at one of my shows. And but I don't really care. I really believe that the uke can be used I really believe any instrument in theory could be used for any genre. I don't define genre by what instruments are used. To me, genre is more of like a social purpose and stuff like that. So that's a longer conversation. But I really believe the uke or any instrument could be used for any genre. And I think that the uke could be played in a very simple way, or it could be played in a very virtuoso way, depending on the musician, or somewhere in between, which is where I see myself. So,
what are some of the new things you've been trying with ukulele recently?
I haven't been in a heavy writing period lately. I've been in a heavy technique period for maybe the last 6 months, and both with guitar and uke, I've been just doing a lot of scales, making licks, and trying to play melody, trying to like figure out the melodies, picking out the melodies on the strings, which is not something I've really used. I've always done arpeggios and strums, so it's a whole new area for me, and it's a lot of work and it's difficult, but it's really rewarding once you kind of get something going, and it's very exciting. And now I'm kind of interested in how to mix rhythm with melody, since I usually play by myself. So how do I mix rhythm and melody? And I'm sort of just experimenting and teaching myself how to do that, and then seeing maybe what kinds of new songs eventually will come out of that, new ways of playing that I'm finding I'm able to do. So,
and in terms of some of your new techniques, do you have anyone or anything that's like inspiring you?
A uke player that I admire a great deal is Lloyd Gold from our Ukulele Cabaret, who really is a great player. He really gives a lot of energy and ferocity to his playing. He mixes a lot of, not finger picking necessarily, but like flat picking, which is what I've been doing, with some really hardcore like strumming, and he's and we've actually played together, and I love playing with him. So he's and I just think and he plays every different genre too, with just the uke. So for him, it's definitely not a limitation by genre. I mean, as far as like the actual playing that I'm doing, I would say like jazz guitarists I've been listening to and kind of trying to imitate, or someone like Jerry Garcia, just trying to imitate sort of the feel of the way that those solos that they play are interacting with the melody and sort of dancing around the melody. And that's something that I'm teaching myself how to do, and it's very exciting when it clicks, even when it just clicks for a second. It's just like, oh, I can actually play. I'm a real musician here. Now, doing it in front of people, that's going to be a whole nother story. But
when I meet the one for me, our love will be finer than fine red wine. Soft to begin with, rich on the finish, and shouldn't be drunk before it's time. Yes, when I meet the one for me, our love will be finer than fine red wine. Properly aged, worth every penny you pay, and stays good for a long, long time. A fine white wine can be all the rage, go lovely with your salad or your entree. But I'm afraid you've got to drink it young, it won't age well for very long. But a fine red wine is a thing most dear, it improves with each passing year. Great for evenings spent at home, but finer than this will be the love we'll know. When I meet the one for me, our love will be finer than fine red wine. Don't you drink this glass too quick, guzzle it, it might make you sick. Smell the bouquet, savor the taste, to drink it too fast would be a waste. Now I'm not saying I'm a connoisseur, can't tell Strawberry Hill from Côte d'Or. But I'll keep looking and someday I'll find a love that's finer than a fine red wine. When I meet the one for me, our love will be finer than fine red wine. If love was a bottle of fine red wine, it'd be magical. When you open the bottle, it would never run dry. If love was a bottle of fine red wine, you'd travel the earth. In every cellar you'd search, come hell or water high. And there we'd be, a table for two, violins playing and candlelight too. No, we don't need to see the list, 'cause we're still drunk from our last kiss. When I meet the one for me, our love will be finer than fine red wine. Soft to begin with, rich on the finish, and shouldn't be drunk before it's time. Yes, when I meet the one for me, our love will be finer than fine red wine. Properly aged, worth any price you could pay, and it'll stay good for a long, long time.
Well, it appears we've come to the hit song portion of the show, and it just so happens that these two songs are the first two songs I ever wrote on ukulele, and I wrote them in the first week after I started playing ukulele. I mentioned today I'm going away on a little trip to get away for a bit and relax. You asked of me if I should see a certain mutual friend, would I extend a hello? My friend, the answer is no. What am I, a hello delivery person? What am I, some kind of hello delivery person? Now I can tell that you mean well, but really, buddy, it's a little nutty, don't you think? I must inquire, did they cut your wire? Have you not paid your bill? 'Cause the phone is still a great way to say the things you wanna say. What am I, a hello delivery person? What am I, a hello delivery person? Better things to do than say hello for you. I'm bound to forget what's wrong. Don't you have the address? And now you ask me to give them a hug for you, and kisses and such. This is really too much to expect. Shit, I'll be delivering blowjobs next. What am I, a hello delivery person? Do I look like some kind of hello delivery person? What am I, a hello delivery person? What am I, some kind of hello, 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 hello delivery person? And the second one is one that I just about have to play every time I perform, it seems. And that's okay, I like it myself. It's a true story, no details have been changed. Can you keep this under your hat, just between you and me, and that's that? Can you promise you won't blab? Rufus Wainwright gave me crabs. Rufus Wainwright gave me crabs. This was back in '98. We made out at Snake and Jake's. No one even knew who he was. We drank some drinks and did some drugs.
strange chain of events, we ended up back at my camp. But all that Rufus left to me with was a broken heart and crabs. Rufus Wainwright gave me crabs. We spent the night, it was hot as shit. At least I'm pretty sure I don't remember most of it. I must have been some kind of doofus to fall for a guy like Rufus. But it's not like I'm still mad that Rufus Wainwright gave me crabs. Rufus Wainwright gave me crabs. Now he plays in places like Carnegie Hall, and I play in places that are pretty small. No house in the Hamptons, no famous friends, just some hard luck stories, ukulele and pen. But I don't waste headspace thinking about that. I'm happy with the things I have, and I've got to this little song about how Rufus Wainwright gave me crabs. Rufus Wainwright gave me crabs. I tell this tale to entertain. What other motive could I have? It's not inspiring or glamorizing. It's a little bit pathetic and sad. The closest I have come to fame was an infestation I once had. Now I don't think he would mind me singing this song. He'd probably be glad. A little publicity's always good, even when it's bad and it's no lie. Rufus Wainwright gave me crabs. 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 It's like this, let me explain. Some folks like whips and some like chains. Some like to be told what to do. Others like jock straps and sniffing shoes. Some like mirrors or playing with food. Some don't even do it in the nude. And this one dude gets off sitting on a cake. I think it's weird, but hey, it's not my place to judge what people do. Say it's not right, oh, whatever gets you through the night. Some folks like to spit and some like piss. Others like getting tied up. But you're really into some kinky shit. You can't do it unless you're in love. I can be good, giving, and game. Teddy bears, sure, and I don't mind pain. But there's one thing I ain't fucking with. I mean, really, you must be 50 shades of sick. Yeah, there's one thing I'll have, and no part of it's this kink of yours, where you gotta be in love. I gave it a try when I was young, back when I thought nothing should be left undone. But I was wrong, and that love shit really fucked me up. And so now my only rule is anything, 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 but I've done it with trees and amputees. I can get aroused by a big loud sneeze. I'm all about sensory deprivation, a little degradation, asphyxiation. I dig doing it in a public place. I get off from getting farted on right in my face, but I really must be clear. No, I'm not about to budge. I'll try almost anything except this thing called love. That's some kinky ass shit, I ain't going near that. Hell, I'd sooner acquire a taste for scat. Yes, there really are very few things that I won't do. But I gotta draw the line and say, hold it there, bud, with that kinky shit you're talking about being in love.
Oh yes, you're here with Midnight Ukulele Disco and Pete Sturman. We have Pete Sturman right here on the line now. Hi, Pete.
Hey, Jason.
What a fun collection of songs we have been listening to this evening, and we recorded them starting in spring in Prospect Park, right?
We were gonna do this back in mid-April was the original target date, but you can see we did not get it done in April.
There's a few things that have come up since then, but I'm super glad that we got to spend that
Things
time.
happen when they happen, you
Yeah,
know.
and we were talking earlier this evening about how in these times maybe it is time to have a little lightness.
I think so. I just read something beautiful that's kind of been posted all over the internet about our revolution that has to have some fun, and it has to have dancing, it has to have singing, has to have laughter. So you have to take a break too sometimes. I'm glad we're doing a short show. It's just a short break from the madness.
Just 30 minutes of Midnight Ukulele Disco, and this is our first show back from the dead. I'm so glad that it was spent with you, Pete. We have some of your friends listening along this evening.
I know we've got some representatives from Tennessee for sure, because I saw them myself on the Jitsi thing, on which I could not get my camera to work. So,
What are some of the things you have coming up next, Pete, in weeks ahead?
what is it called? The Big Gay Cabaret
Yeah.
on the, which is on the 25th, I believe.
Yeah, it's the fourth Thursday.
And then, of course, Midnight Ukulele Disco is back next week with Dana McCoy. So I'll definitely be checking that out because I love Dana McCoy.
Yeah, she's another sweetheart. We've got one more song, Pete, and then that will be the show. Anything you'd like to say for your fans?
Uh, just that when we were making this, we were really in the midst of COVID-19 and thinking about how isolated we all felt. And I was really thinking about it as a way of kind of connecting with people amidst the isolation that we're still largely experiencing, I think. And so this song just really came to me. And I mean, actually, spending a lot of time alone has actually been a beautiful thing for me. But this song is kind of represents the sad, maybe the sadder side of that, and it's a Billie Holiday song. That's how I think of it, as Billie Holiday. So I know it's been done by other people as well. So, but that's who I learned it from. So this is Solitude.
In my solitude, you haunt me with reveries of days gone by. In my solitude, you taunt me with memories that will not die. I sit in my chair, filled with despair, as no one could be so sad. With gloom everywhere, I sit and I stare. I know that I'll soon go mad. In my solitude, I'm praying, baby, I'm praying if there's a God above. Send back my